Hey, good morning, everyone. Hey, I want to give you a diversity, equity, and inclusion update, but I really want to start off with a story. If I told you a story about a young 17-year-old boy minding his business, imagine if this were your 17-year-old boy minding his business in a local store or anywhere in a community, somewhere in the United States, and was confronted by an adult and challenged and talked down to, verbally, maybe accosted. And your son, it could be your daughter, leaves that store to go back to his or her vehicle and finds themselves confronted by that same adult, challenging him, getting in their personal space, squaring off with them, cutting off their path to try to get to their vehicle or wherever else they were going. And they begin to use the N-word repeatedly. Would you believe me that that story, you might think that event happened in 1960, in the 1960s era, or maybe that happened somewhere in the Deep South. It seems logical that that might happen in that era and that part of the country. But in actuality, that happened here in Westfield 2 days ago. A 17-year-old African-American boy was confronted by a 40-plus-year-old white male, upset that perhaps he wasn't wearing his mask the way he should have been, telling him, "You people," and then confronting him and calling him the N-word. In the year 2020, here in Westfield, Indiana. Which is a reminder. Number one, it saddens me greatly, and yet it angers me, because what if that were my son? Just the way he looked, just the way he appeared. Verbally abused over things that he could not control. So we have work to do for diversity, equity, inclusion. We have ignorance to root out. I'm happy to report that the positive responses that I've received over the last 6 weeks have been encouraging, motivating, and really solidifies the work that we need to do in this community. And an example that I just shared with you that our law enforcement's involved in investigating and trying to obtain video footage from the retail location where this incident occurred to try and figure out who this person is. To determine if there were a crime, but certainly it's not the way the society needs to function in Westfield. I told you that a person was running through a neighborhood, getting some exercise during the day, and this person's skin is more brown, not white. And the person stopped him and says, "What are you doing in this neighborhood?" You could argue that they're just looking out at community, neighborhood policing. But this is a Mexican male, Mexican descent, off-duty police officer of ours. Works in our school system, protecting the children of this community, making relationships. So do we have issues to solve in this community? You better believe we do. And we're going to try our best as a team of teams with a diversity, equity, inclusion pool of people that I've been meeting with for the last 6 weeks to bring some structure, bring some dialogue, bring some communication, some education, some activation to this community. This is a fantastic community, ladies and gentlemen, make no mistake about it. A lot of hard work, a lot of hardworking individuals want to have purposely called this their home. And it needs to be a community where a 17-year-old child, any man, any woman, any color, any race, any ethnicity, can step out of their home, go to the local grocery store without fear of being confronted just because of the color of the skin. We've got work to do, and we're going to do it. Thank you.